I think people get tattooed because, there's not a lot of real stuff left in the world, and it's all like a 24-hour news cycle. Nothing lasts. With tattooing, it's blood, it's pain, it's permanence. When you get that needle in your skin for the first time, you have to be there. You can't just call it in. You have to sit there and take the pain, and then sit there and heal it, and then you got to live with the consequences of your action.
Good morning. Welcome to the East West Podcast with your host, Horisumi. Welcome to Friday, the 5th of September, 2025. I'm just going to do a little short episode today, just a little bit of house cleaning, a little bit of catch up, and then I'm hoping to have some interviews coming up soon. I've got a couple people in the pipeline for some interviews. If you can think of anybody who would, vibe with this show and the sort of what I'm trying to get across, and you think they'd be a good guest, hit me up in the DMs. Let me know. I'm always looking for interesting people to talk to and get their perspective and to talk shit. So there's that. I'm hoping to have some non-Japanese tattoo people coming up on the show just to talk about tattooing and the state of things in different parts of the world. So hopefully we'll get that going in the next couple of weeks. One thing I did want to bring up was I've done this series on AI. I've done a couple of episodes just on my thoughts on AI and tattooing and this kind of thing. And since my last episode, the gentleman, Jean Gonzalez from Oboripedia, had gotten back to me in the DMs because I was having a go at him for his Oboripedia AI. And he clarified a few things, and I just want to bring them up. He asked me to actually delete my episode where I was talking shit about him, and I said I wouldn't do that. But I will clarify a few things because I'm not an unfair person. I stand by what I said. I don't agree with Obori AI. I don't agree with the way in which it was done. I don't agree with monetizing this information and collating it all. I think that, just to reiterate, even if it's open source information, publicly available, I think having all that info in one place, the touch of a finger, that anybody can pay to access all this, tattoo information about Japanese stuff and the meanings and the histories and the prints, I don't think that helps tattooing. I really don't. I think that's going to create a whole fucking generation of lazy amateur tattooers that aren't going to put the work in, that aren't going to buy the books and do the due diligence. I think it's just going to make stuff cheap and lazy and fucking Temu tattooing. That's my take. Jean wanted to express that it was all openly available. He wanted to express that he didn't think he was putting sacred stuff on there, and he wasn't putting how to tattoo stuff. And I'll give him that. I don't know. I haven't checked it, right? So I don't know what's on there. But I'll take his word for it that there's no how to tattoo stuff on there. And look, I don't think he's a bad guy. I was pissed off on the last episode because I was trying to DM him and have a conversation about it, and he just started ghosting me on the DMs. And I was like, all right, well, I'll just take that as no comment, and I'll just make my own formulation of what I think of the situation. So like I said, he's since gotten back, and I don't think he's a bad guy. I just think, look, he's not a tattooer. You're not a tattooer, Jean. And, and I've spoken to a lot of tattooers about this, and a lot of people try to come into tattooing from the outside, whether it's journalists such as yourself, or photographers, or fucking, people that want to make aftercare creams, or they want to sell something to the tattoo industry, right? Either to our clients or to the tattooers. And there's a lot of these interlopers that want to go, oh, this is cool. I want to partake in this. I want to get in. I want to make some money off this, right? And and we're sick of that, dude. It's been going on for fucking 40 fucking years. And, if a tattooer had done the tattoo AI, which he wouldn't have, right? I don't think he would have. Maybe there's some fucking pretty unscrupulous tattooers out there. I'm going to take that back. There are, right? But then we'd have a go with them, right? No one's safe here on this shit, right? We'd have a go. There's people out there that have made these, secrets of fucking Horisumi books, all this fucking horse shit, and fuck those people, dude, right? I mean, tattooing, it's like there's not a lot of, like the intro of my show says, there's not a lot of real stuff left in the fucking world, right? Everything's been fucking made fake and gay. And, and tattooing's well on its way down that path. And, if I can stop it just a little bit or slow it down or fucking embarrass the people that are helping make it that way, I will do that, right? I will defend tattooing, right? And, and look, here's the question to everybody, including you, Jean. Is this AI going to make tattooing better, right? Is it going to help? Is it going to make tattooing more professional, more genuine, more traditional? I don't think so. I think it's going to make it more fucking frivolous and more fucking silly. And it's going to give greater access to lower effort people to do fucking... There's already so much bullshit Japanese tattooing out there. So much stuff that's just garbage. We don't need more of that, right? Like, no, I'm not Japanese, but I spend a little bit of time there, and I know the Japanese masters don't like... There was a company selling tabori tools in Japan for a while, and they got told to stop because the masters didn't want them doing that, and so they stopped. And there's people that have put out like certain books, and then that was put on, the kibosh was put on that. The Japanese are very secretive, and I adhere to that ethos. I think it's good to keep things secret, keep things on the down low, and keep things special, right? And then your practice, right? You're making your tattoos is the expression of that craft, and that's what you make your living. That's your productivity, is selling the tattoo. Not selling the secrets on how to do the tattoo, not selling the information, not selling fucking pre-made needles, not selling books on this and that, right? Your productivity, your income, your craft, your trade should be the actual thing, which is making great tattoos and selling great tattoos. And that's what my ethos has always been. I could have started a fucking ink company 15 years ago. I never did. I could obviously, do online courses, which I would never fucking do, on how to do Japanese tattooing or tabori or drawing. I've never sold books of my designs that I've done on other people. That's another big one that I think is a faux pas, is if you've done a tattoo on somebody, selling the design, in a book. There's a lot of things, look, and to my own detriment, perhaps, I've left money on the table, as I like to say, but that's fine. I sleep well at night. I have my integrity. And anyways, that's what I'm going to say about the Wabori thing. No harm, Jean. I just don't agree with you. And I don't think it's right, and I don't think it was your place to do that, right? But, I get what you're saying. I don't think you mean anything bad by it. I think you just don't understand how we feel about it. So, enough about that, all right? If you're south of Sydney, I'm going to be doing some tattoo consults in Canberra and doing some tattooing near Canberra. I live near Goulburn, so I found a place to tattoo down in that area. So if you want to, because I like to stay home a few days a week. I'm only in the shop a few days a week. I'm down there on the farm a few days a week. So I want to do some Canberra side tattooing. So if you're from Canberra, you want to get some tattoos, shoot me an email. I've got a post up about it. You can read the details and stuff. And you can get tattooed a little bit closer to home. I used to have a lot of Canberra clients, and then I finished them all. One girl I'm doing a back piece on, Caitlin, she got pregnant, had a baby. That's, so her back piece going to post. So the place where I was tattooing down there kind of dried up because I do all my tattooing in Sydney. So I'm trying to get some more customers down that way. Anywhere south of Sydney, right? So if you're like Southern Highlands, Canberra, Goulburn area, or anywhere around there, I got a spot down there. So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to go over. The tattoo ready thing that I was doing, the consult, video consult thing I was going with, that's confused a lot of people. Because I got people now thinking that I charge for my consults, which I don't. My consults are always free. Then I've got people thinking I do free video consults just to talk about tattoos, which I also don't do. right? So I've just kind of put that whole thing on the back burner for now because apparently it's reading comprehension is really hard. And so I've still got the thing on my web. I've taken down the Tattoo Ready website because it's causing so much confusion. I've got it on my shop website now. So if you did want to do a 15-minute video call talk about tattoos and stuff, you can purchase that on my Authentink.com e-store. But I put that on the back burner now because it's so confusing. Because I don't charge for email consults. I don't charge for in-person consults. I answer every email all the time. I was just trying to do like a global service to give people good tattoo advice, and it's kind of bit me in the ass with confusing my own clients. So there's that, right? What else? Yeah, like I said, interviews coming up. If you know any cool artists, hit me up, let me know. And I got some new hats, Defend Tattooing. They'll be on the website soon. Like I was saying earlier, you know, like we used to defend tattooing, and we don't defend tattooing anymore. We don't gatekeep anymore, and it's led to this proliferation of where we are now, which is just fucking. You know, I was talking to a dude in the States, and he was telling me there's a shop around the corner from him that's got 35 tattoo artists at it. It's just like one of these rent-a-booth kind of tattoo factory places. 35 tattooers renting booths by the week. Right? And I was like, wow. And it just happens. You know, the guy's not even a tattooer. He's just some fucking dude. And it just blew me away, the level. I mean, I think being in Australia here, we're still living in a little bit of a bubble, and we don't have that kind of insanity going on here. But yeah, it's disheartening to say the least. I think, I mean, look, the cat's out of the bag, right? But we should still, those of us that do what we do with care and passion, we should protect the little bit we can from the parasites and the interlopers. So that's what I'm trying to do. I wear the moniker of gatekeeper proudly. I don't care. I've always been that way. And look, I've gotten a bad rap over the years for being very, you know, myopic about tattooing and very, like, you know, hard apprenticeships and loyalty to your shop and stay very insular. That's the way I was raised. It's kind of the mentality I grew up in the shops that I grew up in. You know, I didn't get into tattooing as a popularity contest with a bunch of other artists, right? When I was growing up, tattoo artists were not friendly people, right? Everyone was a fucking dick and they were dangerous. You know, there's the bikers or criminals in the world that I grew up in, you know, 30-something years ago. And so I never got into it to be like, oh, let's go fucking be friends with all the other shops and hang out and share secrets and fucking hold hands. That was never my thing. It never has been my thing. It's still not my thing. Yeah, I'm friendly with a bunch of people around the world, but it's just a different mentality I had. My whole thing was making good tattoos and making good tattoos for my clients, right? That's always been my ethos. So I think the younger generation, you know, that whole thing is kind of rubbed people the wrong way in some regards, but I have my reasons. So, all right, guys, that's it for today. Just a short one. I'll have an interview coming up for you soon. And look, send me some comments and DMs. Let me know what you think about all this stuff. I'm keen to conversate with some of you about it, and I'll probably do a live at some point soon. I haven't done one in a while, and we'll keep the conversation going. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.